Mr. Curtis Evans has 25 plus years in network marketing history. He was also my previous company. It was the ESD, which is like an SVP in ACN. He got started. I was going on stage in Dallas in front of 25,000 people. I got the phone call, called him back. I got off stage. We got started, and he's been taking it and running with it. Him and his partner, his lovely wife, Miss Darlene Evans, and also his partner, Mr. Reggie, has got in here and has done some fantastic things up in the South Carolina area. They just brought in a couple heavy hitters from another MLM. I'll be back up there 2 weeks after the convention, but I know I'll see him and his organization this coming Friday and Saturday down in the Fort Worth area. I can't wait to see what's going on with him. I can't wait to hear his training today. Can we give a warm welcome to Regional Director from South Carolina, the co-founder of the Crew organization. Let's give a warm welcome, everybody, to Mr. Curtis Evans.
How everybody doing today? My name is Curtis Evans. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, a little town outside of Charleston called Summerville. Charleston's growing very, very quickly. It's there are thousands of people here, and it's one of the fastest growing cities in the United States. It's either in the top three. It's always in the top three. So it's growing like real quickly. I'm real happy to be here. But wherever you are is where you are, and you're going to build a business there. What you have in your hands is the ability to build a local business. That's your marketplace, okay? So let's just talk about your marketplace. Your marketplace is your home, is the towns that you live in, and we used to call it about an hour and a half circle radius around your house. In other words, you can leave the home at 5 or 6 in the afternoon, go do a presentation, and be back around 9 o'clock, okay? If you can be back to your house without staying over, then that area is your marketplace. So you may have a big city in your marketplace. So we're going to start off with some basic things, and then we'll get to the big kahuna, because Mr. Solomon talked about it yesterday. We only do 2 things, and that's all they ask us to do. These are simple things. One is to gather a few customers, a handful of customers. And this month you have on the Vivid, it's 10 points on the Vivid. So could you imagine somebody that put their effort, they'll put their back in the Vivid this month, got 8 customers in the system, got paid $400 for those 8 customers, and they had 80 points. That means they qualify for all 5 levels, okay? And they get 10% of their own personal customers. So if you're a new person, and you called everybody you knew, and had Vivid help you to get customers into the system, there's no reason you can't go get 10. And for a lot of us who haven't called everybody we know, we still can do that, okay? Remember, it's just not these promotions they have every month aren't just for new people. So at the beginning of the month, where we are right now, 10 customers in the system 8 customers in the system will create $400, and not one rep, $400, but it qualify you for 5 levels in your organization and 10% of your customers of the revenue, the billable revenues that you have. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into what we need to do today. Build the business in your local area. And there are lots of ways of doing that. I'm not going to get into that part. What I want you to do is understand that as you bring on customers, put those customers in the system, and you start introducing the business to people that you know, start introducing the business. So you have a market that you've been in, people that work with you, people that go to church with you, people that live in your neighborhood, people you went to school with. There's a lot of people that you know. And I think most of us can honestly say, truthfully, honestly say that we haven't contacted everybody we know. And that's one of the things I learned at the LCC. Mr. Provenzano said, have you contacted everybody you know? Have you talked to everybody you know? That is your market. When you sign me up, you got my network. Okay, you got my network. Remember network marketing? You got my network once I came into the business. When I signed up an IBO, a Corbett McCray, let's say, I got his network. Now, some people won't let you get to their network. Okay, some people just don't want you to get to their network. But if they allow you to get to their network, we have systems to help them to grow. And they come on as IBOs, they get a website. And one of the things I push real hard is the power of that website. I have a website. The new guy has a website. The person that's looking at the business right now doesn't have one. They can't market products in all over the world and all over the country. They cannot do all of those things because they don't have a website. So we push heavily the website. Here again, you got customers that come through that website, and you have IBOs that come to that website. Okay, so this is a magical company. It took 30 years for them to fine tune it, fine tune it, fine tune it, fine tune it, fine tune it. And like Greg Provenzano says, is finished never does. You never get finished. Somebody says, when I get to 10,000 a month or 20,000 a month or 5,000 a month, I'm gonna quit because that's all I need. Well, you'll never get there. It don't work like that. You'll never get there. I promise you. And I learned that from Mr. Trout over in another business I was in. He said, if you say when I get 10,000, I'm gonna stop, and that's enough money for me. You'll never get there. You've already put a limit on what you can make. So I want everybody here to look at big numbers. Okay, think, dream big numbers. Now, we talked about customers. We talked about putting IBOs in. And what did Orrin tell us yesterday the magic sauce was? What did Stephen Payton tell us the magic sauce is? What is the magic sauce? What are we trying so hard to get to on Friday? We're trying to get to an event. Al's going to be at the event, and lots of people on this call are going to be at the event. An event is the 30th anniversary. If it was the 29th, we'd be there. If it was the 31st, we'd be there. If it's the 25th, we'd be there. But we're going to be at the convention. And, you know, I've heard people tell me, well, I don't need to rah, rah, rah. I don't need to be pumped up. I don't need to be juiced up. I don't need to drink the Kool-Aid. I don't know. They come up with all kinds of things. People with no money come up with a lot of different sayings. I don't know where they get them from. They heard it and it stuck. But this is not that, okay? This is a business meeting that you can go to and have a bunch of fun because you're around like-minded people. So I want you to look at the 3 events they have. The local meetings that Greg asked us to start is called the core training. The core training. We try to have that every Saturday, okay? Core training. And then the emerge events are the regional events. And you may have to drive 2 or 3 hours to that, and you may be able to drive 2 or 3 hours to get back home. That's a regional event. So if you have a regional event in your area, for us, it'd be Charlotte or Atlanta or somewhere like that. We would drive to there and drive back, okay? So that's a regional event. That's our emerge events. And then our big, the monster is the elevates. The elevates are the huge conventions. And that's what we're going to this week. But this is a special one now. Being in business 30 years, there are gonna be fireworks and everything else going off down here, okay? So the thing that I want you to understand is your ability to get people to events is, like he said yesterday, if you can't get customers and you can't get IBOs, if you can learn how to do this part right here. Now, I know you can do some customers, you can do some IBOs, that's why you're here. But what I'm saying, get those people to events. Now, something magical happens at the events. When I first started in network marketing, I went to my first event a week later, and then another event about 2 weeks later. And then they said there was gonna be another one in about a month, okay? And I went to that big one. It happened to be in Dallas. Had not gone to those events, I would not be here today. I promise you, I would not be here. I would have paid some money to get into something. It didn't work. Nobody wanted my stuff, and I quit, okay? But if you can get to an event, it makes a world of difference. What happens at the event? Let's talk about that. I know we can't open the floor here, but what happens at the event? Number one, when you get in there and you see 5, 6, 10,000 people, you know, first thing, okay, it must be something to this, okay? It must be something to this. Number two, you see people that look like you, okay? People that are from the cities, people that are from the countries, people with families, people with dogs, cats, hats, where you hear the stories. You will get a chance to meet some of the top money earners. You'll hear the struggles that they had getting the business going, and it'll resonate with you. So I can't overemphasize the power of getting your people to events. Now, it's good for you to go, and you got to go. It's hard for you to say, I want y'all to go, but I'm not going. So what I need you to do is say, I'm going first, stake your mark. So our next Elevate more than likely is going to be in September, October, somewhere in that area. So you need to plan now, even if you're going to this one or not going to this one, you need to plan to go to the next Elevate. And you need to do all that you can to be there. Now, the beauty of that is, let's say you brought 5 people to the Elevate. All 5 you push in, you all were in the same room. 5 people went to the event. 5 people saw that, they cut the risk, they're gonna bring back more people. So the next time you have 5 rooms and each person filled their rooms up. So you have maybe 50 or 100 people or 25 or 30 people at the next event. It grows and grows and grows and grows. And when the convention is over, your people will go back to their markets. Some St. Louis, some will go back to San Francisco, some will come back to your local town. They go back to their markets and they'll grow again. So there's magic there. The other magical thing that happens at events is this. When you have your 10, 15 people at the event, all of a sudden you're not working for the company. The company is working for you. Okay, there's something that happens at those events. People make decisions at the events. I remember Presley Swaggerty a few weeks ago. He said he was in Anatole. I know exactly where he was. And he said he made a decision when he was in Anatole. People make decisions at these events. And if you haven't made one, you will make one at the next event. It's hard not to. In other words, I may be a CQ, but I'm not coming back here as a CQ. When I come back here again, I'm going to be a what? ETL. And then the next convention, I'm not coming back here as the ETL. When I come back again, I'm coming back as an RSC. And then the next thing you know, you do that over and over and over again. You bring more and more people. And then all of a sudden you start to promote to RD and RVP and SVP. If it's through events, because you allowed other people to see what you see. Don't fall for the trap where they say, when you go, take a lot of notes and come back and tell us what it's all. We have a big meeting when you get back and we want you to tell it. No, it don't work. That's like going to a Rolling Stones concert and you come back and tell everybody how good it was. It's just not going to work. So what I need you to do is to work very, very hard, very, very, very hard at getting people to events, okay? Now, there's something that I learned a few weeks ago. If you want something done, give it to busy people. Busy people happen to get things done. You know, for some reason or another, we want to give a problem or something to somebody that's not busy or they're sitting around with nothing to do. Okay, what happens to people that don't have anything to do is they're real good at one thing, making excuses. Okay, people that have nothing to do are really good at making excuses. So what you want to do is invite. And busy people, no matter how busy they are, no matter what happened last week, no matter what's happening next week, will be at that convention. If you told them to bring 3 people, they will have 3 people with them. That's just what busy people do. Okay, so remember, you want as many people as you possibly can to get there. I'm going to show you a little short video, and this video is going to go into a little bit of detail of the mechanics of doing this. Most of this is emotional. This is emotional. They have to feel what you feel. They have to want to be or whatever and know that's a route, that's the ticket for them getting there. So what I want you to do is to just take a look at this video. I'm going to show it, and I don't think I've shown it. If I have, then you'll see it for the second time. And this one is about events. And I want you to listen to the excitement in his voice as he's promoting events. You get very good at this, and your checks will explode. I mean, your money in ACN will explode. And Greg Provenzano mentioned at the LCC meeting that I attended that you can't do it unless you do this event thing. You'll have a local market that will die out. You have 5, 6 IBOs in, next month they're out. You have 10 IBOs in, next year they're out. You know, but if you can learn to promote events, get good at that, you'll be fine. This will give you a snapshot. It's a 7-minute video, and I think it'll come right in time. So
let's say you want to get 100 people at an event. Let me give you some training on how to do that. I'm a ninja at doing this. I'm world class. There's very few people that are better at me at promoting a company destination event. This is what made up for most of my lack of ability and lack of skill, was this skill. So let's say you have an event in September, and your goal is to put 100 people into that event. Number one, you have to know what the date is. You got to know where the location is. And you got to take a look at what you have in raw materials from your team in order to be able to work with. And some of you have a team to work with, and some of you, the team's going to be no good. You're going to have to do this with a fresh team. So if the team's no good, then that's fine. But let's say you got 10 people on the team. If you have 10 people on the team, it's your job to crawl inside their mind as a leader and say, let's each of us get 10. Let's come up with a strategy. Let's come up with training. Let's come up with competition. Let's come up with recognition programs and incentives and peer pressure and constant communication. Let's talk about it all the time. Let's meet with your people. Let's call everybody on the team. Let's call our customers, invite them. Let's everybody on the team recruit one person this month and invite them to the company convention. Let's solve all the problems. Let's figure out the babysitters. Let's carpool. Let's Share hotel rooms. Let's do whatever we got to do in order to be able to make this happen. Let's eliminate all the excuses. Let's go have an adventure. Let's go do something outrageous. Let's change our family history for forever. Let's do it. Let's go. Come on, you plus me. If you have one person on your team, it's enough. You in? It's one person on your team is enough. Say, come on. You and me. It's just the two of us. But two people can conquer the world. Come on, let's go. You recruit 10 people, and I'm going to recruit 10 people. We'll have 20 people, and then we'll get each of those, and we'll help each of those get 5. We'll get 120. We'll have more tickets sold than we even have space for. Let's just do it. Let's shock the world. Let's freak out our families. Let's shut up every person who's ever doubted us for our entire lives. Every person that said, no, we can't do it. See what I mean? So you plant a vision and say, come on, let's go change the world. We got this, you got this. Yes, there's going to be distractions. Yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, there's going to be issues. But so what? The story of what we're going to do is going to be told by the entire company. We're going to be the biggest story in the entire company 6 months from now, 8 months from now, because of the decision we made. Matter of fact, let's take a picture of the moment we made the decision and let's sign it. Let's put it on the wall. Let's tell the world this is where it started. This was the garage of Apple Computer. Let's make it so. You see what I'm saying? So casting that vision is one, and then you got to put together a strategy around that. How are we going to do it? Are we going to name our campaign about these events? Are we going to name it something? Are we all going to wear the same color t-shirt or whatever when we show up? What are we going to do? What's our strategy? See, here's posers inside of network marketing. You know what they do when it comes to events? They announce. Hey, there's going to be an event in September. Amateurs, you know what they do? They invite. Hey, you should come with me. Join me at this event in September. It's going to be fun. You know what professionals do? They promote, and they're relentless. They will not stop. Everybody says, enough. Oh, come on. There's more to life than this event. And they say, no, there's not. We're doing this. We're making it happen. We're making it so. If you have any doubt in your mind, don't hang around us, because guess what? We're going. We're doing this. We're making it happen. Do you feel the energy of how I talk to people when it comes to growing something? Absolutely. We're going to go after it. Why do I talk like that, and why do I believe like that? Because guess what? When I get around this guy, I'm the emotional security blanket for him. I've got to have my belief so high, so red hot, that he says, I just got to be around that. Because I let life get in the way. If I get around him, all those distractions are going to pale. They're going to disappear. And I'm going to stay focused on my dream. So, your events are big. They're huge. They're massive. Some of you, I think you're going to earn significantly more than $1,000 a year. You come back to this event. Some of you should get 10 tickets or more to this event. You haven't decided to for whatever reason. That's up to you. But here's what I'm telling you. You make the decision, you say yes, tell the world, and then figure it out. It's going to change your whole life. That's all. How many people wish you had more people at this event? Raise your hands. The only reason why I encourage you to come back is because I know it's going to help. But you know what's sad? Even though I'll love to see you again, is if you let life get in the way and it's just you again. Instead of you plus 100. You changing your team's perception of the world. So, event strategy. It's the easiest shortcut I know to going to the top, because it overcomes all these other lack of skill that are out there in the profession. So proclaim it. Tell everybody you're going to do it. Be relentless. Go crazy.
Yeah, I played that last part 3 or 4 times. So I want to make sure you got it, because Orrin mentioned this yesterday. He said, if you mess up with this, that, or the other thing, this overcomes all of that, getting people to the events. Because if you're sitting at the event with 25 or 30 people, then the company is working for you. The company is working for you. And those people there are making decisions. They're excited. They're calling me at break time. They're calling me when a new announcement gets up. They call somebody that about being a customer. They call somebody about being an IBO. During the meeting, they'll get up and go to the back and call people. They're so excited. Those decisions are made at the event, and so that's why he said toward the end. I played it 3 times. It'll make up for everything else you can't do. Everything else that you can't do if you can learn to promote events. And I say that because we got a couple more days. And just because you may not have money to go or get someone else there, call them and tell them you need to be in Fort Worth. You'll be shocked at how many people will stick $1,500, $2,000 down on a card and gone. It's not your money, it's their money. They decided to go. Okay. So just invite, impress, and make it a big deal, because it is a big deal. I'm gonna go back to one other person, Stephen Payton, when he was on. He said this was a secret sauce. This was the secret sauce. He said, I told you the secret sauce. He said he suffered. They ate noodles. They had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the room. They had a lot of people in the room. They did what they had to do over and over. And all of a sudden their business took off. Okay. So this is not a little thing. The event is not a rah, rah, rah. Yes, you're going to be happy. You're going to love the music. You'll like the lasers. You're going to like the dancing girls. I know it won't be a dance girl. You'll like all the things that they have there, because it's going to be so exciting. You'll be able to talk to people in the Vivid booth. You'll be able to talk to the people from home office. You'll be able to shake James Adams' hand. You'll be able to shake Al Thomas's hand. You'll be able to shake Greg Provenzano's hand. You'll be able to go across stage and get some recognition. You'll see other people doing it. It's going to be a big deal, and new announcements being made. So do what you can to get to Dallas. And I'll say, get with somebody and share a room, but get to Dallas. Okay, I'll work Fort Worth. That's all I have for today. I'm sorry, my throat's going out. I hope you can take this information and use it. Remember, this thing will work over and over and over if you become a promoter of events. Thank you, Al. This is back to you.